John Bosco Wilderness Camp is a camp for youths age 9 to 17. We help them experience the wilderness and God's nature. We have a lot of fun with them. We not only help them build character and build themselves, we help them relate with other people and build friendships that they'll keep for their entire lives.
The motto at St. John Bosco Wilderness Camp is people experiencing people in God's nature. We are a camp that was started by the Knights of Columbus back 55 years ago, and we still take faith as really important to our core values.
Well, you really get away from the city and stuff. There's no cell service, there's no wireless internet, you don't have access to television, a computer, or cell phone. And you might not like that at first, but I think it's great. You aren't distracted.
This is an experience that you probably won't get anywhere else, right? A lot of the camps out there, they don't kind of go to the extremes that we do. You know, lots of them have cabins. We have, these big, awesome tents. A lot of people, when they come in and visit, they're really surprised about how spread out the camp is. And that's what I love about it, because you'll be at a resource, but you're not, like, it's just your group, right? So you're with your group, and you don't get the distractions of, the other group. So even though you're with your own separate group, you do get to interact with the other groups as well. And the fact that you get to go on this big out trip, I think, is a really big experience that a lot of people probably would never get, to go out into the bush with everything on your pack, with just, two counselors to kind of, trusting in them that they know what they're doing and where they're going, and the experience that you have out there with your group. You'll never get that close to a bunch of kids that you met, 10 days ago. It's just, the experience is awesome.
Ale is a 3-week out trip. There is 1 week of hiking, then another week of canoeing, then another week of hiking.
You start with a 7-day hike. Our hike, we go around Narrow Hills Provincial Park, and we will hit up various campsites that have all been made by Bosco. Just very simple log campsites with stone fire pits. And then after that, we do a canoe trip, often the Sturgeon Weir, and then onto Amisk Lake.
They'll be picked up at the end of the week, dropped off at their canoeing destination. They canoe their route, then they're picked up after the end of that and dropped off again at the beginning of their last hike, and they hike back into camp.
My favorite activity would have to be archery, and that's because that's something that I personally don't get to do in everyday life. I don't own a bow or arrows, and that kind of thing are relatively expensive, so it's really fun to go down to the archery range and shoot arrows with the kids, and sometimes even win. That's always nice.
The John Bosco Relay. For your junior and intermediates, it's a bunch of little relays. They compete, each separate group competes against each other. They don't, there's not ever, in the junior and intermediate relays, there's never a clear winner. It's great to just cheer on each team and watch them all kind of have their little strengths and stuff like that. And it's great. I love watching it and seeing who dominates. It's great.
As a counselor, one of my favorite things was getting to know the other counselors.
We have this leadership beforehand where all the counselors and the staff get to know each other. They meet up and they just practice everything they're going to need to know how to make the fires, just in case they've forgotten everything. And in that way you get to know everyone as well, and you get to remember them before the campers get here. So everyone's kind of really friendly with each other, which encourages the campers. They're really enthusiastic when they see, oh, it's that guy that you're friends with. I want to be friends with him too.
People come from all over Canada, and sometimes internationally. This year we had a boy from England come over to council, as well as a girl from France. So you get to meet a ton of different people that you just wouldn't otherwise. It's also just a way to get out of the city. There's no cell service up there, so it's just a total escape from the rest of the year. So going up there for a month or two during the summer was my favorite part of counseling.
Camp directors are awesome this year, and the previous years they have been. The board has a really good act of picking out people that are responsible and know how to balance having fun, because the majority of our staff are younger and are still in high school for the most part, or going to university and still continuing their education and just looking for something to do during summer.
You get paid to have just an amazing time, and the leadership skills that you build is incredible, right? Because you're these children's, caregiver, and you're there to look out for them. And, if something happens and say it's raining and you're doing canoeing, you have to kind of know what your alternative is for canoeing, right? It makes you plan, it makes you know how to organize things, how to take care of people, and how to, interact with everyone, because you never know who you're going to be working with the next camp, right? So you have to get those people skills that you're able to work with everyone and deal with pretty crazy situations sometimes, and it really, you grow as a person and as an individual, and you learn to work really well as a team as well. So
even myself, I've kept a lot of the friends I've met here over the 12 years. I've been going as a camper and a counselor, and I can say personally that this place has not only become part of my life, but it has changed me personally. And I find that a lot of the kids I counsel come back with that same attitude and that same feeling. And seeing that in someone where you see it change their life is just the best. And that's what I think St. John Bosco Camp does incredibly well.